But yeah, AI being in fucking everything in your house, wanting to have a conversation and carry information about you with it.
I don't want to talk to my refrigerator.
Watch and or listen while we tackle tough and sometimes taboo topics filmed live over drinks. This platform allows us to articulate our thoughts and challenge our beliefs. This is SipTalk. Grab a drink and enjoy. All right, we are live. Welcome to SipTalk, episode 285. My name is Justin DiGiulio, joined by James, the Bosnator Boswell, philosopher, philanderer, philanthropist, philatelist, phlebotomist, a man full of phlegm. James, how's it hanging down there in sunny South Carolina?
Not so sunny and not so warm.
Oh, yeah.
Although, at least it's like relatively warm during the daytime, but temperatures in the 40s at night, which I guess would be warm for you guys.
It would be a little warm. Let me just tease the topic here, because today we are talking about our predictions for the year 2026 as 2025 comes to an end. But I do want to talk about ice, because I think we talked about this the other day. Before we hop into our actual topic, I told you about my foot.
You did, but you haven't told anybody else.
Well, I've been hobbling for the last week. We got like 6-7 inches of snow, and I wasn't. Which, by the way, there's no snow, and this is like a week ago. There's no snow now, and I wasn't going to shovel it. But I said, you know what? We have deliveries coming in. I better just shovel it. So I shoveled it in the middle of the day. It melted a little bit, and we ended up, as it got cold at nighttime, with a lot of black ice all over the place. Whatever. I wasn't too worried about it. I guess that was better than there being snow there, anyways. So late at night, like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, I got to take the garbage out. All my boots and stuff that were near the basement door that I usually toss on just to run outside to take the garbage out were soaking wet. So I said, you know what? It's cold, but I'll just go up barefoot and deal with it. Which, of course, I slipped full of, like, with pizza boxes and just delivery boxes all around me. I slipped, threw everything up in the air, stubbed my toes, said, fuck it, and threw the shit that I still had my hands on down on the ground, walked back inside and said, you know what? It is way too icy out there. I need shoes. So I walked up to the house. I noticed my toes were a little banged up, but whatever. Bought my shoes on, walked back outside, brought the stuff to the garbage, came inside, and I took one of the shoes off to look at my toes. And I said, oh, yeah, they're bleeding a little bit. I started looking around. There's blood. I'm like, man, they don't look like they're bleeding that bad. The other foot had a very deep couple-inch gouge in it. It was definitely worthy of stitches. But it was late at Sunday night, and I really did not want to go to the hospital. So, long story short, I got some of these like plastic sutures. I wrapped my foot with painter's tape, because it was the only type of tape I could find that doesn't have much of a flex in the house. And I was hobbling for the next few days. That's
super glue.
We actually have like I forget what it's called, but it's some type of skin glue, and that actually helped too.
I was like, seriously, like super glue works.
Yeah, without the skin stuff, I probably just would have used super glue. But the thing was, it definitely needed stitches. So because the skin moves on your foot quite a bit. So I've been walking around on my heel, which by the end of the first day was freaking exhausting. And being in New York City, I have a hell of a commute on foot. And the thing is, I was walking at like 1 mile an hour, just hobbling everywhere. It was really, really embarrassing. So that's the story of my foot. For anybody who might have passed by me on the street going, what's this guy's deal? Why is he walking like that? But it's actually pretty much sealed up, and I can almost walk pretty much normal. So I'm very happy about that. I'm about to have a drink. You got a drink over there?
Yep, I've got the classic combo of beer and some diet bourbon.
That sounds good. I was wrapping some gifts last night, and I had enough scotch to fuel an army. I think I ended up. It's kind of like you got to find time to do this to wrap gifts, and I had to do it late at night. And then there was a ton of boxes left over because everything now ships, from Amazon or any website with big, big cardboard boxes. So I had to hide the evidence. I decided to have a little fire in the
I
fireplace.
was going to say you should walk outside barefoot and dispose of them that way.
Well, that's the other thing is our freaking recycling is so full with all the cardboard. So I decided to pop it in the uh, I was going to say oven in the fireplace, but paper burns so freaking hot, so I had to just do it really, really, really slowly. So I just stayed up for like another hour and a half, burning little piece of cardboard by little piece of
At
cardboard.
least burning stuff is fun.
It was fun. It was fun. I did have one piece. I had the roll for the wrapping paper, and I tossed that in there. And I guess for whichever reason, one side caught on fire, the other didn't, but the smoke started piping out of the other side into the house.
I was going to say, did it
Oh,
catch on fire and then the weight balance shifted so that it rolled out of the fireplace or
yeah,
something?
exactly that, exactly that. Yeah, and it was just piping smoke from the fire into the house. Luckily, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Luckily, the smoke alarm didn't go off, so that was good. But hopefully, you got your holiday gift getting or buying. You're supposed to get them in a
Yeah,
couple of
we
days.
covered that 2 weeks ago.
I know because we covered it and we reran the episode and we had some good stuff actually. I think we had. I don't think it was our best year for gifts, but we had some exciting stuff.
I'll tell you, if I win the lottery tonight, I'm buying that Metro 6R4.
Such a weird car, and it's way too flat where you are. You need some good roads. All right, so look, we're going to talk about our predictions for the future. We've got a handful. We've got a lot of bullshitting to do because we don't have a whole lot of predictions. So, we're gonna fill with fluff, and this is really exciting stuff. If you like talking about the government and the economy and politics, we got some culture stuff in here and some tech. So we'll try
Yeah,
to keep this interesting.
I'm
But
so bad with culture, so
the thing is, I think it's really cool to kind of be able to go on. I mean, people can predict shit out of their ass all they want, but for us to go on the record and then we can revisit this sometime next year, maybe the
one
same
quick off
time,
topic.
same
I
time
noticed
next
your
year.
watch is in 24-hour time.
My watch is in 24-hour time. Yes.
When did you make that switch?
Oh, in middle school, I think.
Really?
Do you know why I have every clock around me set to 24-hour, or as they call it, military time? It's because this happened to me 2 or 3 times in like middle school, maybe late elementary school. Um, I came home from school in the fall or winter time and took a nap. And then I woke up and it was like 7:45, and I just sprang up, started running around the house, jumped in the shower. I'm screaming to my mom, "Mom, I'm running late! I'm running late!" She has no idea what's going on. And then, like, I go in the shower. She's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I'm like, "I'm running late," and uh, it probably took her a while to catch on to the fact that I was thinking that it was the morning. So it happened to me. It definitely must have happened in elementary school. And at a certain point in middle school or high school, I was just like, "This is the easy fix. Just set the clocks to military time." Um, all right, that's all I got for right now on the bullshittery. We
All
need
right, let's
to get
start.
some predictions for the economy.
Yeah, let's start with people are going to keep on losing jobs. Like 2025 was bad for jobs. I think 2026 is going to be worse. Like you're seeing like meat packing plants closing down. You saw one of those in Nebraska. Like Jim Beam shuttered a distillery because like nobody outside of the Americas are buying their booze anymore.
Oh wow,
Um,
interesting.
and yeah, like the tariffs are and like China used to buy billions of dollars of our soybeans, and that dropped to zero.
Oh shit. I
And
didn't. I didn't know. But actually, I do think I heard something about
and
that.
the country that is like one of our main rivals for soybean production is Argentina, and we gave them like $40 billion to bail them out. So not only are we not helping our farmers, but we're also helping our competition. Which
Yeah,
so
through foreign policy. Interesting. Uh,
yeah,
and,
but
and and that's not even accounting for AI.
no, these are all outside of AI. I still question how much AI is going to to displace jobs in the near term. In the long term, it could be a problem, but in the near term, I think a lot of jobs are going to hold steady because AI is still so riddled with errors
Well,
that
it's AI is not very good. You can tell what's been. I don't know if you've noticed this on images everywhere. Everywhere you go, like you can go to the store and you look at holiday cards and things like that.
oh yeah, it's a problem
AI
there.
generated images, and it's uh, we got something yesterday. I was pulling something up. I was like, I was on Pinterest. You know what Pinterest is, right?
Like a craft site.
It's like imagine you had access to every magazine and you were building like a vision wall or something. So
It's a vision wall. Sounds like
like
something somebody would like on peyote would come up
uh,
with.
well, yeah, like imagine you want in your future you're going to have what you're going to have. So you go and you get a Sports Illustrated and get a bikini model, and then you go to a Auto Trader and you get a sports car, and then you go to whatever and you put it all on your vision board. I mean, kind of like
So
building
it's
a
a
collage.
collage.
Yeah, but that's not really even that's a bad example of what Pinterest is. But what I did was I'm upgrading the bed in my son's room to a from a crib to a big boy bed. But then there's a giant sofa in his room that like folds out and turns into a pretty big bed, but that doesn't fit in there with
With
a
the
bed.
regular
It
bed.
fit there with a crib, so it doesn't fit there with a bed. So now I got to get that out of there. Which, by the way, uh, that took me probably 5 hours on Sunday to move around the house to get to get out of that room. I don't even know how I got it into the house, and that was something that I transported by myself when it came into the house. Luckily, actually, the neighbor helped me uh, get it through the front door, so that was cool. But like getting it off the truck and into the house, I managed to do that all on my own. Um, that's wild.
All right, so Pinterest has got to
Okay,
be
either way, yes. Obviously, I'm rambling here. If I haven't done enough talking today, but yeah.
infested with AI.
So Pinterest is basically you just get good images. So I was trying to look for some new styling. So I just typed like green plaid boys bedroom, and it just gave me a bunch of images. But I would say 95% pretty accurate is all AI bullshit. It's not actual images of actual rooms, which for what I was doing was basically fine. But it's just wild to see so many fake pictures, and you could tell by like if there's text. Uh,
AI
usually
still can't do that well.
it does very bad with text. It does, and it does weird things with like hands and. Uh,
It's gotten better, but
it's gotten
it's
much better with the hands. Actually, hands has got, but
yeah.
text has not gotten good at
Well,
all.
and that's why like when it comes to AI displacing jobs, if we were to grant AI being 95% accurate, right?
Hmm.
For like cartoon style images or stylized images or even like semi-realistic style images, 95% is good enough for a lot of people. That's fine.
And for a
But
lot of applications, yeah.
and for a lot of applications, sure. But let's imagine, I don't know, you're an accountant like I am. If you are 95% accurate in accounting, like if you work in an accounting firm and you're 95% accurate, you're probably gone within a week, if
Yeah,
not sooner, because a week is about as how long I would expect somebody to catch that your work is 20 as 1 in 20 entries wrong.
yeah, and
Like
that's and the thing is when you build on errors, things get really really bad. So
so
you,
any field that needs to have any level of precision is pretty safe for the near term.
but
Because if
the
you're
nice thing,
in engineering, accounting, finance, anything where you need to have really high accuracy, oh God, medicine.
but the nice thing is that AI is actually a tool for these careers right now. Um, even though they're probably training their replacement, but AI is a nice thing to have to be able to review the work. Uh, so
Yeah, and like
that's a benefit, but it's not coming
for,
for those jobs
for
like right
initial
away.
research, it's not terrible because it can at least give you like a springboard. But like if you search for something and you get an AI result, like I can tell you that there's times where it's correct and there's times that it's not. And like if you're an expert in things, like you can look and be like, okay, that's what I thought. But then you read further and be like, okay, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong.
Oh, I hate how it writes though. I'm so sick of reading. So there's a term for it called slop, and a lot of that is referring to the
That's the word
videos.
of the year, by the way.
Yeah, I heard that today actually. but I made a mental note to bring it back up tonight because it's so frustrating to just see all these garbage bullshit videos, and then same thing with the Pinterest images that I was looking at, and there's AI music right now, and
Yeah.
it's I'm trying to hone my ability to detect what's AI generated and what's human generated.
I saw a really funny video where somebody took two cell phones and loaded up two different chatbots, say like I don't know Gemini and ChatGPT, and had them talk to each other.
I think that's brilliant. I was listening to a
I
few
mean,
seconds of a conversation like that.
yeah.
Oh God,
It,
yeah.
imagine two drunk valley girls at a college party.
Is that what it was like?
Yeah, of
Oh,
just
God.
like agreeing with each other while saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's very sycophantic,
Yeah,
which
I
is a
hate it.
word I don't think I've ever used before. But anyway,
I mean, that might be the word of the year for next year.
yeah,
You know what? I'm going to make that prediction. Next year's word of the year: sycophantic.
yeah. Again, that's I think that's literally the first time I've used that word. Um, yeah, but I do a decent amount of writing and posting things online, and I'll use AI a little bit, but I hate how it writes. And actually, somebody tried to have me hire them. They were looking for some type of for me to hire them for something. I forgot what it was, and they sent me an email. It was like a few days ago, and it said on the bottom like basically, is this good enough for you to send as an email, or would you like me to change it before you send it?
Not hired.
And I was like, yeah, that's not fucking happening, idiot.
You know what? All right, another prediction for the economy is like 2025 was a bad year for U.S. tourism. 2026 is going to be worse. Um, because I don't know if you've seen this, but like anybody that needs to apply for a visa to enter this country, which is a
Hmm.
lot of countries,
Yeah, is this on your list? Did I maybe I?
it is,
Okay,
um,
yeah,
are requiring like people to give their DNA and access all social media history for like the last 5 years.
that feels very 1984ish, kind of
Yeah.
Big Brothery.
And I can tell you that like if I was trying to enter a country and they're like, we want you to open up your phone and show us everything you've ever sent, and we're going to take an image of your phone, I'm leaving.
Yeah, and
Like I'm just eating the cost of that ticket and going home.
yeah, I will tell you in New York City though, it seems very, very, very touristy right now, uh, which this time of year is peak tourist season in New York City, and people who work there and live there
Hate
absolutely
it.
hate it. Yeah, we have three bagel shops on my block and a bunch of hotels, and some days it's difficult just to get into my building because the line is so deep and thick. It's I don't know. We're not going to talk about that now. Yeah. So the tourism
Like
aspect.
we're gonna have the World Cup here in the United States and also Canada and Mexico in 2026, so that might like falsely inflate the tourism numbers. But if you correct for the like blip of tourism from the World Cup, like it's going to be an awful year for any tourism industry because like foreigners just don't want to come here because we treat them like shit now.
Yep.
Jason Brescia asked if we can call in.
Uh, yeah. I think. Oh no, you can't. We don't have the phone. There's no call in tonight. That's why it's not on there. Sorry. Sorry, Jason. Sorry about that. It would have been cool to
The
have you
one
come
night
in.
you can't call in.
Yeah. Two- so, but you can share your comments
Yeah.
live. We'll be able to see your comments. What
All right.
what,
Next
what else,
one.
Jerry?
I think you're going to start to see some initial cracks in AI companies.
Well, so
As
Chat GPT, Open AI took a huge, huge hit when Google updated their AI, and
well, you also saw this, and I think it was like 9 or 10 months ago, maybe close to a year ago, when ChatGPT was really starting to catch on, and then some Chinese company releases a chatbot, and like it was immediately just like better than anything else that was out there at the time, and like all the AI stuff in the United States just like had a temporary crash because like the Chinese model was built with way less resources and all sorts of other crap. I don't know, but I think that like you've got these massive financing costs of building out these data centers and the electricity that goes into it and the manpower that goes into running these places and everything, and the revenue just isn't there yet,
the
and I don't know
revenue
if
the
it ever
revenue is
will be.
not there exactly. But here's how I think about this. AI, it's difficult to switch AIs. Okay, and the reason it is for me is because I've uploaded all of this information onto this Chat GPT profile. So if I go and I use Grok or Google or there's another one I play with a little bit, it doesn't have all that information. So what I heard today is that ChatGPT, OpenAI, is basically doing everything they can to get user adoption, and because they want users to sign on and basically like make it their primary, and then switching becomes very very difficult, almost like going from Apple.
It's still like the use cases are limited, and the amount of people that are willing to spend money for it is also limited. And so you've got these companies that are burning through billions and billions of dollars a year,
Mhm.
and like people just aren't willing to spend money on it. And companies that are like looking to do enterprise level AI stuff are starting to find out that it's not really saving them any money.
No, and it's yeah, it's not doing great work.
No.
I think that I'll make that prediction for 2026 is that the needle doesn't move too much on AI at all. Not much changes in terms of AI, because I
Well,
know we have even talked about the potential catastrophe that we could be facing with AI. But I think we even knew that it was pretty much overblown in the immediacy. Things are certainly going to change big time down the line, but in 2026, I don't think we're going to see things happen like this.
no, I do think that there's going to be a large correction in the broader AI economy, but it's very hard to predict when, because like it can be sustained for quite a while, because there's still lots of investors that are willing to put their money towards companies that have negative earnings, and they'll be willing to do that for a while, but eventually it's going to catch up to them.
Well,
And unless there's a major breakthrough that happens where people start to see like, oh, this stuff actually really can do a good job, then these companies are eventually just going to burn through cash, and investors are going to get tired of losing money.
there's a lot of circular financing going on.
Well, yeah,
With the
it's
chip processors investing into AI, so AI
and
can
AI
get
investing in the chip
yeah.
processors, and it's yeah, all and that just helps inflate the bubble, and that just makes it that more unstable and that more easy to pop. But again, being able to correctly predict when that will happen is really hard. And if I could do that, then I wouldn't be buying lotto tickets. I would just be buying short positions.
You buy a lot of lotto tickets.
No, I bought some tonight because it's a 1.6 billion, and
Yeah, I bought a ticket the other day. I usually
I bought five.
You bought five. Wow, that's very aggressive. My thing is,
$10.
I get it. I will buy usually one or two just to have some skin in the game.
Yeah,
Just because it's very unlikely that you would win, but somebody's going to win.
yeah.
So,
I keep my limit to five. Like because that's as many as that fit on one slip of paper. So,
fair enough.
um,
Um, all right. So you get mortgage rates. You think they're going to
they're going
continue
to
going
continue
down?
to settle down. I think borrowing is going to get a little bit easier for people, but the the Federal Reserve is going to keep on cutting rates a little bit. Once J-Pal leaves, like he's going to be replaced by somebody who's much more like allowing themselves to be influenced by Trump. But
Exactly.
I think that you're like if the Fed cuts rates aggressively, you're going to end up seeing inflation come back and strong. That's just how rate cuts work. Um,
Mhm.
and that's going to help mortgage rates. But I think any gains in borrowing power are going to be offset by home values continuing to rise.
Yeah. So I, I think I have some notes in here on home costs, but I think they're going to go up. I don't. I think the market's going to soften quite a bit. Actually, I don't really see, and it's obviously market dependent. But because we're letting fewer people into the country, you have fewer buyers.
You also have fewer people building houses.
Well, our population isn't increasing at the rate that it always has. So I think we're going to see. I just think it's going to soften a little bit, and we've seen it already. A couple years ago, as soon as something hit the market, it had offers over the asking price. Now we're seeing some stuff sit. We're seeing places come off the market because they're not selling
That's true.
at prices that I thought were pretty reasonable. So, if they're not selling for what I thought is reasonable prices, um, to me, that's a big indicator of a softening market. But I don't think the price are really going to come down. I don't think we're going to see that until we really start to. I don't know. I think this population decline is a little more imminent than we talked about, especially with
Agree.
especially with the visas and things like that. I think that's going to have a big play.
We're not
On
going
how
to
many
see a
people are in this country.
population decline in this country. We might see a slightly lower growth rate, but there's a difference between having a positive growth rate that's smaller versus a positive growth rate turning to a negative growth rate.
Well, I just think that we're not letting people in the country the numbers that we used to, and I see that's likely to continue. So
Your next one, you say you think consumer confidence stays low.
yeah, I mean, people are getting beat up. We're getting beat up on prices of everything. From groceries to, uh, I mean, just everything is expensive. Clothes are expensive. Groceries are expensive. Cars are expensive. Gas. What's gas by you?
Like high twos.
Okay, yeah, I saw it's like 2.75. It's usually about $3 or a little more around here, but I saw 2.75 this weekend. I thought that was pretty impressive. Gas has pretty much stayed the same, so that's not too bad. Um, but I think the confidence is going to stay low. I think a lot of people are going to be upset with Trump, and that's my next bullet point here. I see it very high, and I think he's already working on this.
He's floated the idea of this.
Trump stimulus checks. Um, I think he's trying to buy people
Oh,
basically.
that's clearly what he's trying to do. The problem is that he would need Congress to authorize it, and I don't think Congress is interested.
Well, listen, if the people want it, they're going to do it.
Yeah, but like the whole thing about inflation is if you give every American $2,000, that's going to drive up inflation a
I
ton.
know, I
And
know.
the other thing is he can say that we're raking in all this money from tariffs, this, that, and whatever. Like $2,000 to every taxpayer is like 2 to 5 times as much money as he's taken in from tariffs.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I was making this comment, I was wondering how it was going to math out, but I don't know. I don't
So,
want to talk about that shit right
but
now.
yeah,
Uh,
like I could see him wanting to effectively buy votes, but I don't think that Congress is going to go along with it.
I was just going to say, I really don't want to talk about politics right now. I noticed that's our next topic. How do you feel about moving into culture?
We're going to have to come back to politics.
Yeah.
Culture, I got very little. I like currently Grand Theft Auto 6 is scheduled for about a year from now in November of 2026, and I think that game is going to break every record out there
Oh, really?
in terms of sales.
Yeah, I don't play video games. I don't really pay any attention to them at all.
But
But
you
that
have to
wouldn't
go about Grand Theft Auto.
that wouldn't surprise me. I think was it GTA 3? Was that the big one?
That was
Where, like,
that was their breakout hit. Like they had 1 and 2 that were top down games that
yeah,
got a little bit of attention, but Grand Theft Auto 3 was kind of revolutionary for its time.
GTA 6. There you go. All right, and then what do you have here about soccer?
Oh, the World Cup. I could see Iran boycotting it because of the way that they've been treated by the United States. I think there's going to be a lot of protests around the venues, and you're going to see a lot of arrests and mistreatment of protesters. And I think you might see Trump try and steal a World Cup medal from an athlete.
I don't. What do you mean? I don't get it. Be,
So the last year they had the Club World Cup, and Trump did steal like the big trophy.
he took the trophy.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
it's going to
Interesting.
make FIFA a crap load of money, and like everyone's going to say like the tournament went well, but like if you look at the prices of like the tickets that when it was held in Qatar 4 years ago, like the prices are like 5 to 10 times higher for tickets in the United States than they were in Qatar. And
Interesting.
so like a lot of people are annoyed about that because like hey, it's supposed to be something for the fans, and like yeah, you can make your money, but like you're just gouging people here.
Um, Interesting. So it's funny about this World Cup because I was just you have you do YouTube on your phone.
Not often.
YouTube on your phone is really trying to push you to watch shorts. They're like 90-second or less videos, which
Why do you think that is?
because it makes you this psychology of the user, and
But
it
like,
just
why does YouTube care about people watching shorts
because
versus
they're
making
losing
videos?
because they're losing people to the other apps that
Like
have the
TikTok?
shorts. Yeah, that have the shorts. And it's I mean, whenever I go to YouTube, I've got like three kind of full pages I have to flip through just to get to the regular suggested videos,
And they're
which
all
is
shorts.
uh, yeah, it's all shorts.
That's odd because like my YouTube video watching experience, and I watch a lot of YouTube, is probably less than 2% shorts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the long form, but I watch them from time to time because, of course, you open the app and then you see something that's
Oftentimes, I
intriguing.
just block that out. I close it out, and it goes away for 30 days.
Well, it's just yeah, but you're using the computer.
True.
Mine's on the phone. But there was a Shane Gillis saying something about how he was at some game or something, and Trump was there, and he called over the president of soccer and said and thanked him for giving him the trophy, which
Well,
I hadn't thought much of it at the time, but I guess that's what you.
yeah, but FIFA also gave Trump the FIFA Peace Prize, which is just a transparent bribe. It's a prize that they made up this year just to make Trump happy because like corruption recognizes corruption, and FIFA is about as corrupt as it gets.
Yeah, I'm not in the soccer world. So look, actually, on that note, I wanted to give you last week's bar trivia answer. Do you remember the question?
I do not.
What do you remember? You guessed it right as soon as we got off air. Justin Summers has a vacation house that is positioned in such a way that all four sides face south. How is this possible? And it's obviously, a make believe question, but the answer is
His house is centered on the North Pole,
his house is centered on the North Pole. Correct. That's it.
which would be really difficult to do because the North Pole sits on open ocean. So maybe half the year you'd be able to have it built, and then it's going to be in water.
Yeah. Well, either way, him and Santa, they're neighbors, I guess.
He'd have a much better time trying to make a house that has all sides facing south.
um, and yeah,
I mean,
Justin.
north, facing
I
north.
knew that's what you meant to say, but I was going to say Justin Summers. The last name Summers was a bit of a red herring or diversion there. The last name Summers to make you not be thinking winter, not be thinking North Pole. All right, I'll let you hit some politics,
All
uh,
right.
just because
Um,
I'm feeling generous.
I think you're going to see even more GOP Commerce members resign as they tire of being apologists for what the current administration is doing, because they have to go home every once in a while to their districts and have these town halls where everybody hates them.
Yeah, I was just something was on this. So I got a new TV for our office. It just kind of runs the news 24/7, just to have something on the screen. And there's something about news about a rift on the Republicans dividing, uh, and I mean it's just so wild to
Well,
be.
you're also seeing it with the Epstein files where you've got a lot of Republicans that are pretty pissed about it.
Yeah, well, I think uh, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see a third party emerge,
Mm-mm.
but a lot of people are just not happy with the ultra uber liberals or uber conservatives on either end. So, all right, what else you got?
Um, and when it comes to the 2026 elections, I think the GOP is going to get wiped out in one of the worst midterm election results for like a political party in modern U.S. political history. Like voters are pissed, and even voters that voted for Trump are like, we didn't think this is what was going to happen. And I would say, well, we tried to tell you.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is he made it sound like he was going to be able to to just kind of wave his hands and fix things.
Right, because he said stuff like, "I'm going to bring prices down on day one. I'm going to end the Ukraine-Russia war on day one," and like anybody could think about that and be like, "That nobody can do
It's
that."
impossible. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and prices have not come down.
Yeah.
And Ukraine is still it's wild. I'm just surprised that like there's buildings left in Ukraine. I just keep seeing pictures of just crazy demolished, bombed out buildings, and
Oh, it's also wild to see like some towns that are just like a huge spider web of fiber optic cables.
I have not seen that actually.
Oh yeah, you should look it
Interesting.
up. There's some pictures where like all like a whole town looks like it has just been like screwed by a giant spider because like drone warfare has gotten really really big, and the easiest way to defeat a drone that's operated remotely is to just jam its signal. And so the workaround to that is to have the drone cover controlled by a fiber optic cable, so that way it can't be jammed because the signal's through the cable
Hmm.
and it's light, not like electromagnetic radiation. Although I mean, you can say light is EM radiation, but it's not the same as like a radio wave.
Hmm.
And so those drones can't be jammed. The only way you can defeat them is to actually physically shoot them down. And so, like when the drone blows up at its target or whatever, that cable is still there. And so you've just got thousands of miles of cable strewn across
That's
like
wild.
these cities.
I'd never heard any of this at all. Really interesting stuff. Wow.
Yeah. Maybe after the cast, I'll find a link and so you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see the pictures.
you'll have to.
All right. So more politics stuff. Um, in 2026, I think you're going to see continued efforts by the Trump administration to consolidate executive power and restrict democratic norms and just continue to try and do things and just do things and then defy the courts whenever they can. Like
Well,
that's what they've been doing this year. They're going to continue doing that, and they're probably going to ramp that up even more, especially as we get closer to the election.
well, for those who don't know, we've got lots of notes here for things that we can continue to talk about once we run out of things to talk about. Number two on this secondary list, if you look, James, is the question: Are we actually governed by laws anymore, or just executive interpretation? Because
Right?
the current administration is really.
If you were to give me enough time to research it, that question alone could be an hour-long podcast.
Yeah, it's well, we have a ton of different examples that we could
Yeah.
dissect, but I think that's exactly the case. That's exactly what's happening.
Um,
You know,
my next one. Let's just move on because I don't want
yeah.
to be talking about Trump for like 10 minutes straight.
Let's talk
Um,
about his polar opposite then.
Yeah, Mamdani. I think he's going to struggle to live up to his lofty promises. I think he's going to get hamstrung by the inertia of New York City politics and bureaucracy. But I think he's still going to be better than Eric Adams.
Yeah, I think he. I don't know. I just De Blasio is so lousy.
And Eric Adams is terrible too.
Yeah, but Eric Adams is not as bad as De Blasio. I really De
I mean, I think
Blasio.
he's more corrupt than de Blasio.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how a first term with Mandami goes.
I'll be
Uh,
watching him. Like, I want him to succeed.
well, I think even the people that don't want him to succeed because they don't like him, still to a degree want him to succeed because it's our city.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think a lot of things that he talked about are going to happen. I see a lot of talk about trying to reclaim buildings from lousy landlords, um, but that just means you're putting the buildings in the hands of the tenants, and the landlords aren't taking care of the buildings because they can't afford to. A lot of these buildings are losing money. The tenants aren't going to be able to afford to either. And I think we talked about this about buildings going into foreclosure, but the banks not taking them
Yeah.
because they cost too much because they lose too much money. So I don't
Well,
think that's.
I think that, and we talked about this as well, because I said that is a potential way to rethink public housing is to have the city invest in these buildings and then have them be like housing, have them be subsidized housing that is paid for partially by the city. And maybe that's a better system. I don't know.
I don't think we actually talked about that, but that would be. That would be an interesting. Like if they tried that for a little while, that'd be really interesting to
Yeah,
see.
I don't know if it would work or not, but I think it's worth at least looking into.
Yeah, definitely open to yeah. All right, and
But
next,
I will have to say, I don't know if you watched any of the coverage when Mom Donnie went to the White House and met Trump.
I didn't. I've been trying to stay away from news and politics specifically, but that would have been an interesting one to see.
It was really funny to watch because like Mom Donnie is so charismatic that Trump liked him, and
I think I did hear that.
I think part of it is like Trump is surrounded by a whole bunch of people that just have like negative charisma. And so like the first time that he's around somebody that's actually pleasant to be around, Trump's like, "Oh, this guy's cool." And like Trump cares more about that than anything else. Is like he wants to be around cool people. That's his entire life. And so like at one point a reporter asked Mom Donnie, like, in the past you've called Trump a fascist. Would you still say that today? And Trump interrupts and says, "It's okay. You could just say it. We all know."
Interesting. Interesting. All right. What else you got on here? You got
Are we gonna go to war with Venezuela? I predict that we won't, but we're gonna continue to like antagonize them
it's pretty scary stuff that we're just blowing boats out of the water.
and stealing oil tankers with shaky justification.
Yeah, yeah. It's
But like I care less about stealing the oil tankers than killing people with no evidence.
yeah. Like I mean, I just
Because at least nobody's dying when we steal the oil
yeah,
tankers.
just imagine like being on a boat and just I don't know. That's scary shit. It's just, but that's how the world works.
Well, I think you're going to see, if not next year, in the next 5 years, you're going to see people go into prison for this shit.
Yeah, I would not be. I would not be surprised. You know, just blowing boats out of the water because you suspect there to be drugs on board without verifying that there are drugs on board.
Yeah, and
It's
like
wild to me.
it also
Where's the fucking due process? I mean, you know,
right.
I mean,
And
it's international. I don't know
yeah,
how
but
international law
you know
works.
what? Like if we care that much about it, like the way that we dealt with drugs carrying boats in the United States beforehand was pretty darn effective. And that would be a Coast Guard boat with heavily armed and trained soldiers would board the boat, and then they would be able to see whether or not there are drugs on there. And most of the times there were. And then they would arrest the people.
Exactly.
And like
And you can also get more information about where it's coming from. You know,
right. It's these people are better alive than dead because you can bring them into a prison and interrogate them and say, who paid you guys to do this? Where did they come from? And you can start to eradicate like the chain, the supply
yeah.
chain.
This is just scare tactics right now,
Well,
and it sounds like
the
it's
reason
actually
why one of the reasons why we've been doing this is
why.
it's Stephen Miller. He wanted us to bomb cartel targets in Mexico. And like Mexico's new president has been making progress fighting against the cartels, and Mexico also has said like you guys are not going to bomb any of the like any targets in our country because we're our own country. And so basically the whole bombing things in Mexico plan became like infeasible, right? And so Stephen Miller still wanted to bomb brown Latino people, so he decided, all right, fine, we're just going to go after boats in the Caribbean instead.
All right.
Like it's seriously, it's that simple.
All right. So, all right. I just want to skip
Tech.
tech. I want to skip tech just for a second and just mention uh, my next question is political exhaustion. Is it really starting to set in across the U.S.?
For some people, perhaps.
I mean, it is for me. I used to listen to the news every single day and enjoyed knowing what's going on. I'm just over it though. I can't fucking do it anymore. I don't have any control over anything, and it's just like I want good news. I'd rather just listen to music.
Problem is that's how these people win is through exhaustion.
Yeah, no, that's true because people don't actually care enough to know what's going on. People who don't know what's going on can't control it and organize, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but I do think we're going to see a lot more people. It's just it's to walk around and just be on edge all the time because you're potentially at war with someone else's ideology. I think is got to be fucking exhausting.
I would say that I'm pretty politically engaged, but I don't walk around on edge all the time about it. It's just something that like I think about often.
Yeah, but a lot of people,
But I
if they
would
find
never
out that
describe
you,
myself on edge. The only time I was on edge for a couple days after the election last year.
oh, you sure were, you
Yeah, I
sure
was,
were.
but
But no, my thinking is like when somebody finds out that you like Trump or you don't like Trump, basically, or you want Kamala to win. Uh, so I saw, I don't know what it was, some type of poll or something. Who's more likely to win in the following presidential election, whether it was Kamala or Trump, and Trump is more likely to win than Kamala is if there's another election. Um,
yeah, but that's just asking a stupid
it
question.
is asking a stupid question, but I mean, it's very plausible. Actually, I think I would not be
No,
surprised. Yeah,
neither of them are running again.
I don't know. I don't know. But uh, it's just it's exhausting to just be ready to go to war with somebody because you find out what their political affiliation is,
See, I won't do that. Like if I just won't associate with them.
which I think has got to be exhausting. You know, people are trying to size you up to figure out which side of the line you're on.
I'm
Um,
fine with that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like years ago it would have been okay to be like, oh yeah, I don't really follow politics, but now that's not even an answer that's allowed
Well,
because
no,
people will
because
pry
like
deeper. People
if
will
I were
pry
to talk to
deeper.
somebody and they say I don't really follow politics, I would ask them why, but I
But
wouldn't.
because you're trying to dig deeper to find out their ideologies, which I
Yeah,
think
but
is
like
like.
there's a if someone says I think everything that Trump is doing is great, I'm not interested in talking to that person for.
But to me, it would be like just walking up to somebody and saying, "Oh, which church do you go to?" And I'm saying, "Oh, I'm not really that religious." And then you're going, "Okay, but are you Muslim or Jewish or Christian?" It's like just they're not really interested. Like, let's move on. But
I
now
don't
you
walk
have
up to
to
random
know.
people and ask them that
But
shit.
I think anybody that you regularly associate, you need to know their politics these days, and that's wild to me. I mean, not in my life because I have friends,
I mean,
every side of politics. But
there's one person in my life that I've effectively cut off because of politics, and you know who they are. And there's another person in my life that I'm weighing doing the same, and you don't know who they are.
oh, okay, it's not me. No, I
But you
assume.
know the person that I have cut off.
Yeah, I do. All right, so uh, what else we have on here? Tech?
On the tech, I think AI is going to start becoming like akin to the Internet of Things,
Did we
where
did
it's
we
going to
talk about
start
this?
being thrown into random products that don't fucking need it.
We talked about this recently, right?
Like,
Everything
I don't think
having
we're
AI
that
in it.
far off from like AI toasters.
No, I'm asking you. Did we have this conversation already?
I don't remember.
I could have sworn we have, but yeah, AI being in fucking everything in your house, wanting to have a conversation and carry information about you with it.
I don't want to talk to my refrigerator.
Yeah, we must have had this conversation, but yeah, that's a prediction that I had. Exactly that AI is just every product that comes out is going to have some processor uh, and some internet connectivity to basically find out as much information as
You
it
know
can
what's going
about
to
you.
be. You know what's going to happen, and this is when people are going to know that AI has gone too far. You know what product it'll be?
No, go ahead.
AI toilets.
Oh god, I don't know about that, but although there are smart toilets, I don't have one. I have a very dumb toilet. I told you about the time I went to the bathroom in Japan.
Uh, I
I had,
no.
to, I had to take a crap. All right. So I walked into the room, the lights turn on, and it says something to you in Japanese. Here's where anybody who doesn't know learns how culturally ignorant I am. Uh, I have no idea what it was saying. So either way, toilet was there. The seat opens up for you. So I went and had a seat. I did my business there. And then there were some buttons on the side that had Japanese characters on them. I had no idea what it said. Uh, so so I push one of the buttons, and like the lights dim or something like that. I push another button, and I hear some noise. All of a sudden, it's some bidet feature, and it just starts shooting water up my asshole, which is not not something that I was really prepared for, nor do I really like that much.
You know, I'm
And,
gonna
and
say that this is on you for just pressing random buttons. Like,
I was curious. I'm in that most high tech toilet I've ever been on, and I didn't. First off, the first one was like the light. I didn't expect the other one to be under my asshole.
I mean, all I could think of is a line from Futurama when Fry is throwing out a smart toilet, and the toilet's trying to convince him not to. Like, and Fry just as he throws it in the dumpster says, "Sorry, you know too much."
Interesting.
But no, I really do think that you're going to start seeing companies put AI and shit where it absolutely is not needed.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. It probably is already happening. I don't know.
But I also think that you're going to start seeing on the other side of things, and you're already seeing this now in the video game industry, that companies are marketing their products as being completely free from AI.
Oh, yeah, that's I think we're gonna see a lot
And that's
of
going to be like the
pushback on it.
hipster kind of thing of like people wanting to go like buy vinyl records and stuff. Is like you're going to see a significant portion of the consumer base saying like AI free is now a selling point to me.
There is. I've actually, lately I've been like trying to get like away from technology and things. I've been trying to play freaking Christmas movies for my 3-year-old, but anytime we turn on the TV, there's like every other cartoon that he watches is displayed there. Like continue watching or watch this, and I can't even get to the freaking Christmas movie because he starts having a freaking panic attack because we're skipping Baby Shark or Paw Patrol or whatever else. So I was actually thinking, like, man, just be nice if I could just get the VHS or the DVD of the Christmas movie and just pop that in, and that way we don't have to go through all these like, just showing him the other things that he could be watching. So I think we'll see a little more of that kind of disconnected culture, the anti AI, that this was done by humans. I think we're going to see more of that in 2026 because I think people are just like not in with it. And the thing about AI also is we've been quietly feeding our information as consumers to companies for the last 15-20 years,
Yep.
but we haven't really outside of a targeted ad, which you may not even realize is targeted until like you look at somebody else's phone, you're like, oh, that's
Honestly, at this point, I assume that 100% of my ads are
oh
targeted.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And it's funny when you look at somebody else's phone, you see all the shit that's targeting them. You're like, oh, wait a second, you don't have this and this and this.
Oh, makes me think of one of the funniest posts I've ever seen, which is somebody says, "Oh, so apparently like Facebook is given into the gay agenda because like all they're doing is advertising like gay sex products and stuff." And everyone's like, "Dude, those are targeted ads."
So but I think we're really going to feel it in 2026 because everything you interact with is going to be so sycophantic and catered for you. You're just going to be like, dude, I'm not with it. Do you remember the movie Minority Report
Yeah.
where they were walking around? They had these uh, like
Pre-crime.
like billboards that were all glass screens, which
Oh,
is
and it would scan your retina and be like, "Welcome, Tom Cruise."
yeah.
Well, actually, well, he had fake eyes, so it was like, "Welcome, like Guillermo Lopez."
But yeah, but the point is, it knew who you were as you approached the sign and catered the ad on the sign for you. And this is also, by the way,
Or even said like, "Yeah, we've got these pants in your size available."
by the way, this is before we even. This is back when our billboards were painted billboards. Now every billboard is a screen. You have screens up and down the city, streets, every 50 yards. So that
Minority
was that.
Report came out in 2002. It made some really good predictions.
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff is true, and with AI, that's my point. Is just we're going to see a lot more stuff that's targeted, and you're really going to feel it in 2026.
Now I
Uh,
want to watch Minority Report.
yeah, it's a it's not that good going back because you kind of know what to expect, and it's not as cool. You actually have to deal with the storyline, which is like a little lackluster. So, and then it's all based off these like three brothers or sisters that see into the
Precogs.
future. Yeah, precogs, which are just three like bald people that are kept in a drugged up state so they can read their mind as these guys see into the future. Like that aspect of it, when you watch it again, you'll just be like, they couldn't have come up with something else.
Well, I think if you were to remake the movie today, like it would probably be some form of AI that was trying to do
Something
it.
to do with that. Like, yeah, we've calculated your decision. We've looked at your choices, and since free will
Yeah.
is not
We've
real,
made the following predictions with a 97% confidence
which
ratio or whatever.
yeah, which by the way is like that's way too complex to math, and it would
Yeah,
probably
but
take way too much.
I'm just making shit up for like the idea of
But
a
it's
movie.
way more. I'm sorry, but it's way more fucking believable than three brothers and sisters can
Yeah,
sit in a
but
pool all day and can see the
you'd also
future.
have to write a completely different ending for that movie versus the precogs.
Yeah, true. All right, what else? What else do you have here? We don't have to talk about. Oh, actually, movies. That's something we could. Yeah, acting and writing, because right now it's anybody can create a lot of this content and characters and things like that. We're going to see a lot more uh, just bogus AI generated plots and writing and fake actors
Well, you already have some of that.
and graphic designers and things like that are really going to be out of a job. It's wild just to think. I have these books behind me that I love. There's 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they're old ads from old magazines and newspapers. But just think, like back then, it was somebody's job to actually like paint the ads on paper, and that's what you would see. And it would take them hours or weeks in some cases to like come up with the ad. Now you could go through 30 iterations of an idea in 10 minutes.
Well, and just think
It's just
about like animation. Whereas like today, like it's not easy to do animation by computer because you still have to know a lot of what you're doing and you have to have artistic skills and everything like that. But like you no longer have to draw the same thing 24 times to generate 1 second of movie.
yeah, yeah, which is wild. And those are jobs that were in high demand, before because it was a lot of work, and now they disappeared.
You had hundreds of people that were all trained to draw things the exact same way, like spending thousands or hundreds of thousands of hours for like
And
a
very,
Disney movie.
very underpaid. I got this week's bar trivia question coming at you. Pete Polyester, a door to door salesman, was selling a high tech car wax that he claimed was harder than steel. He offered one container for 19 or two for 33. He said that the profit was the same either way. And since these were his last two containers, he simply wanted a quick sale. If we take Pete's word for his profit margin, what must each container of wax cost him? So one container for 19 or two containers for 33.
I know it.
Just a simple math question, but you gotta wrap your mind around a way to math it out.
Well,
To come to an answer. You can tell me off air. We'll
yeah, I will
discuss
because I
the
was going to
answer.
say it actually depends on the wording here.
Um,
My answer may or may not be correct.
well, yeah, it's easy to test. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Uh, but then you'll have both answers, or you'll have one
I
right
have
answer.
one potential
Yeah,
answer.
you have one right answer, and you can get the other answer by mathing it out. Anything else? Let's see. I think that's all we can get into without running out of time on the next topic. Thoughts? Anything you want to throw in there real quick?
No.
Is distrust in government rational or self fulfilling? Is federalism replacing national identity? Oh, and it is the United States' 250th birthday in 2026. So we didn't even talk about how that's going to play out with Captain America as president. I mean, Donald Trump.
I don't want to think about it.
So that'll be interesting. What else we have? Has the culture war peaked? Do elections feel decisive to
Oh,
voters?
culture war peaked. All right, real quick. Last weekend was a great weekend for people who dislike terrible people because both Logan Paul and Andrew Tate got their asses kicked in a boxing ring.
I didn't hear about Andrew Tate, but I
Yeah.
saw some footage of Logan Paul. I didn't even realize there was a fight. I thought it was like AI or something. It was just
No. Logan
something
Paul
that-
had his jaw broken in both places, and Andrew Tate lost by TKO, but he was getting beat bad.
Wow, you do not want to have your jaw broken. Yikes! All right, well, that's it. We're at episode 285. SipTalk Podcast. Visit SipTalkPodcast.com. Buy us a drink. Answer the bar trivia question for a chance to win some cool merch. Adios.
New York City real estate agents, it's time to make the move. Keep 100% of your commission. Get access to hands-on agent support and New York City's best agent training, the Slingshot program. Online access to our Agent University and online on-demand video training program. All at DiGiulio. Contact info@DiGiulioGroup.com to make the move.